One of the products getting a lot of buzz involved the next generation Apple Watch. The tech giant making a big push into healthcare with a watch that can monitor your heart. How big a deal is this move? Joining us is Skip Fleshman, partner at Asset Management Adventures, a leading biotech VC firm. Skip, great to have you with us.
Thank you.
It sounds like you're excited about the watch because of all the data it could potentially make available to biotech firms who want to do studies with that data.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things about the watch and what Apple's been doing over the last 3 or 4 years as they roll out some of their products like Health Kit and Research Kit. The watch enables a collection of far more data than we've ever had before. And in combination, Apple's doing some really interesting things around collecting data from providers. They have over 100 relationships with provider networks now where people can actually download and manage their health data from electronic medical records.
In terms of the data, I mean, we've just come out of a period, I don't even want to say we're through the period, where a lot of people are really focusing on privacy of your own data. And when it comes to your health data, I'm sure people will be very concerned as well. So, how robust will that data be when it comes to actually being able to use that data that Apple may have gotten from your wrist?
Yeah, so I think a couple things to highlight there. One is Apple is a very trusted brand. And what they've done is enabled consent so people can actually download their data. They actually control it, both the data that comes from medical records and the data that's being generated by the watch or phone or other third parties. So they control that data, and they have the ability to share it with anybody they want. So what Apple's greatly facilitated are the consents. And these can be used, companies like Evidation Health can use these for clinical trials that can span tens of thousands of people out in the real world.
I get that, and I understand why doctors would want this and why the patients want it. Why do you want it? What data are you looking for?
So as a user, I mean, I think there are a lot of different things that can be highlighted. And you know, quite frankly, some of the sensors they brought in would be like heart rate variability, VO2 max. As a person who uses the watch all the time, I use it for exercise.
But I mean, as a VC, as a venture capitalist, what is this data going to do for you?
Oh, so I think it enables a whole new network of companies, a slew of startup companies to be able to capitalize on this data and help improve outcomes or actually notify people when they have problems. So we're seeing all sorts of companies that are developing digital therapeutics that are, we have a company named WellDoc in our portfolio that helps manage type 2 diabetes. But they can actually begin to intervene and help people manage their health on a day-to-day basis. It's a massive change.
Skip, if I could play devil's advocate just for a moment here. If this were easy, I imagine someone else would have done this by now. Yes, it got a lot of endorsements from the FDA, the American Heart Association. But do we know that this is really going to work as intended? I mean, what if this data isn't accurate and people are making health decisions based on that? What are the roadblocks and things we need to worry about when we think about this new technology and using it for such key issues?
Yeah, historically, as we've invested, we found the FDA to be a little bit slow-moving, but quite frankly, they're ahead of the game with a lot of the digital interventions that we have today. They're utilizing, they're approving things with artificial intelligence in the back end. But what Apple has done here is they've been very clever. I think some of the things they've done have been incremental, like the notification for patients when they're falling. But what they've done with ECG is they've already obtained FDA clearance for this product. So there's a lot of air cover that they have.
Before we let you go, what else could it do? I mean, what do you see? So it's going to do my heart rate and all that, and it'll help me when I fall down. Yeah, I mean, what's next? What can this platform do for health services?
Insulin readings, I would think, would be a logical one.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's continuous glucose monitoring is definitely the holy grail for a lot of people that have to measure their glucose on a daily basis. It's very painful. I think one other one that would be very valuable is measuring, and probably more realistic for Apple to go out first, is hypertension or measuring blood pressure. Because a lot of people are supposed to be measuring their blood pressure more frequently. Hypertension is the silent killer. And if you could actually measure it very simply without using a cuff in your office or home, you could just do it with your watch, that would be really, really valuable.
Cool.
All right, Skip, thanks so much. Skip Fleshman with Asset Management Ventures.